What's up, guys? Mickle here. And with the BRICS summit ongoing, there is a ton of people speculating and asking the question, will these BRICS nations be using Ripple and XRP? There has been a ton of people talking about this, a ton of people finding documents actually connecting Ripple and XRP to some of these nations. In this video, I want to give you my views on all of this and really paint a much larger picture of the future financial system we're going into. In this video, I want to give you guys a good understanding of exactly what I am seeing in this market and how I think Ripple and XRP fit into this BRICS transformation. Make sure to stick around for this whole thing. This is very important. Like always, your support means so much to this channel. If you enjoy these videos, make sure to take a quick second to like this video and subscribe to my channel. It really does help me out so much. Also, if you ever need a good place to buy some XRP or the Flare token, make sure to check out my favorite exchange Uphold down in the description of this video. With that said though, let's jump right into it, and I hope you guys enjoy the content. So I want to start this video off with something a little unrelated, but it's certainly very interesting and goes to a question I have been asking for a very long time now. And it actually centers around a tweet Jeremy Allaire, the CEO of Circle, just put out on Twitter. Now, for those of you who don't know, Circle is the company behind the USDC stablecoin, and a question I have been asking for a very long time is why hasn't USDC been added to the XRPL? USDC is the most trustworthy stablecoin out there, so bringing USDC to the XRPL would make sense on both fronts. One, it would bring a ton of dollar peg liquidity to the XRP ledger, but two, it would bring a lot more market cap to USD itself. It never really made sense to me why USDC wasn't on the XRP ledger outside of the Ripple SEC case. Well, just today, we actually got a tweet from Jeremy Allaire where he confirmed that Circle was going to be adding USDC to 6 new blockchains over the course of the next month. So I just tweeted out in response to that, one of them better be the XRPL. Now, there really hasn't been any indications on exactly what blockchains Jeremy Allaire was talking about here, but I think it's safe to say if he is not adding USDC to the XRPL after the Ripple SEC case and XRP was deemed not a security, we're going to have to be asking some serious questions about what's going on at Circle. The XRPL is a top market cap cryptocurrency. It makes absolutely no sense that Jeremy Allaire would be boycotting the XRPL. I totally understand the argument about the legal uncertainty around XRP prior to the ruling, but now there is absolutely no excuse to not add USDC to the XRPL. So I just wanted to point this out. It's something I'm going to be watching very closely. And the main reason I'm really watching this is because when I look at the cryptocurrency market, I really see two companies that really have good executive teams, really have professionals at the front of the company. One of those companies is Ripple and the other is Circle. So I really would like to see these two companies working closer together. I would love to see Ripple and Circle start getting some initiatives together. So far, we haven't seen it, but what I'm hoping is that this tweet by Jeremy Allaire is the start of a deeper partnership between two of the most important cryptocurrency companies out there. Anyway, we'll have to see how this plays out. I just wanted to bring it to your attention. And let me just say real quick, XRP better be one of those blockchains they're watching right now, or I'm going to be asking some serious questions about what's going on at Circle. I want to move on now and move the discussion into the whole BRICS topic. There is a ton of people talking about the BRICS summit. Will these BRICS nations be using Ripple and XRP? I want to go over all of my thoughts around this because I think there's some really important topics we need to cover. Now, the first thing we need to talk about is why so many people are asking the question, will the BRICS nations be using Ripple and XRP? The main reason so many people are asking these questions is because there has been a lot of documents between Ripple actually working with some of these countries on the back end. We know Brad Garlinghouse has met multiple times with the central banks in Brazil. We also know there has been documents leaked out of Russia involving XRP. So there are some Ripple and XRP connections in the BRICS nations, and we also have a lot of connections going back to India between Ripple and helping build some platforms for them. So there's certainly a connection between some of these nations and Ripple and XRP. But what are my thoughts around the BRICS nations specifically using Ripple and XRP? That's something I don't necessarily think is going to happen the way many people are expecting. I think it is certainly possible that these BRIC nations will leverage XRP in one way or another in the future financial system. But I don't think Ripple is going to be necessarily building CBDCs for a country like Russia. And the main reason I don't think that is because Ripple is an American company. Russia is not going to trust an American company to build their new financial system. At the end of the day, that's the whole reason they're leaving the US dollar. They don't trust the United States. So it simply just does not make a lot of sense for a country like Russia or a country like China to be working directly with Ripple. That's the whole reason they are escaping the US system. Now, the reason why I said they could use XRP, and I think they might, is because XRP is a decentralized neutral platform, and that's the thing that so many people forget with all the narratives going around. The whole reason XRP could still be useful to these countries is because the lack of trust between them and the United States. If we really are moving to a world where all these nations are more polarized and they don't trust each other, they are going to need assets to bridge their currencies. In the past, the United States just traded with China and Russia in US dollars. There was a lot more trust and people just said, you know what, we'll just take these US dollars, it's the global reserve currency, and we really don't have any other ways to facilitate this trade. So all the trade was just done in US dollars. But as these countries become more developed and as the United States has weaponized our financial system against these countries have said, okay, well, now that we actually have the ability to settle these trades in other assets, and now that we're scared of you actually weaponizing this system against us, we don't want to use your system anymore. So what is happening is these countries are slowly, and I say slowly in a very, very important manner because it's not going to happen overnight, but these countries are slowly pulling apart and unintertwining their financial systems. When this happens, there is going to have to be assets in the middle of these countries in order to facilitate trade. That is where I think XRP could be absolutely critical in bridging the trust and creating a level playing field between these two countries that have completely different values. And I think this is the most important part that's often overlooked. So many people are trying to find documentation of these BRICS nations directly saying, we're partnered with Ripple to build CBDCs, we're directly using XRP. And while I certainly think that could be possible in the distant future, I just think it's kind of missing the bigger picture here. The whole reason XRP is going to be so important to our financial system is because our world is becoming more divided. As we move away from the dollar system, we are going to need new assets to bridge these different financial systems. We are heading into a brand new era, and what this BRICS summit really represents is a massive step forward towards that transition. Up until now, it's really been all talk. It was all of these countries saying, hey, one day we're going to separate, but it was never happening. What we're finally seeing with these meetings is the initiative to actually separate. If these countries never separated, and if we kept on going towards a more globalized future where all these countries were just perfectly fine using the dollar, it really wouldn't have been an issue. The dollar would have been the world reserve currency. It would have stayed directly at the center of the entire world, and these countries would just take dollars. There would be no need necessarily for a bridge currency in the middle. If everyone just used dollars, the bridge currency would be the dollar. But what I'm showing you is we are moving away from this system. The world is being torn apart, and we are losing trust between these nations. This lack of trust is causing these systems to be separated, and XRP is positioned to be an asset that could bridge all these different systems. This is the most important thing I am taking away from this BRICS summit. It's not necessarily that I'm looking for some specific piece of documentation that's showing, hey, we're going to use XRP for this, this, and this. I don't need to see that because this simple fact that these countries are separating lets me know they are going to need an asset like XRP. So then it just comes down to me looking at the cryptocurrency market. What do I think is the best asset to actually bridge these different pools of value? And for me, the answer is clear. It's going to be XRP. There's going to be other solutions out there as well. We already know that Russia is testing payments using Bitcoin, but all I need to do is look at the technology, and it lets me know that XRP is going to work its way into the market as these different players realize it's the most efficient solution. This is really what I'm watching playing out right now. This is really what I'm watching right now. It's really the most important thing I'm taking away from this BRICS summit. And don't get me wrong, it definitely is very cool to see Ripple already working with countries like Brazil and India, and countries like Russia already admitting that they have tested XRP. I think this just further proves the point that they are going to need a system with neutral liquidity in the middle. I just want to make the point that regardless of whether or not people say it's speculation that these countries are going to be using Ripple or XRP, or whether or not people are saying, oh, there's proof these countries are using Ripple and XRP, it doesn't really matter. As long as you accept the base thesis that we are going into a world that is less globalized, as long as you accept the thesis that the dollar is not going to be the primary means of trade all over the world, or at least its role in that system is going to be decreasing, then all you need to do to speculate from there is on what asset is going to be used to bridge all these different systems. For me, my bet has always been on Ripple and XRP. They have been positioned to do this from the start. It's one of the first things they were talking about as a company, and it just seems like now we are watching all these things come into place. I am more than happy to read all the documentation of Ripple and XRP working with these different countries, working with these different institutions to facilitate this next generation financial system. For me though, this entire BRICS summit is telling me that things are moving a lot faster than many people may have anticipated, and we are going to need a world with neutral liquidity, a level playing field for all these countries who don't trust each other to still do business with one another. Anyway guys, thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed this update. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. It really does mean so much. And for now, Mickle out.